Good afternoon to everybody. Just say a couple words about last week, and then certainly look forward to this game here moving forward. So, last Saturday was certainly a unique experience, and the bottom line is just really happy for our team to win the game, obviously, and just see a great performance by our guys. Thought they really did a good job. Staff, players, everybody involved certainly did well, and always good to get the win. It was a real team effort. I think all three phases certainly contributed, and a lot of good things, a lot of things to teach off that tape. So, like every week, but certainly it was very different not being there, and just a little bit of a unique experience, as I said. Illinois State came in there, and they're very well coached. We knew that. I thought they really competed hard and made it tough on us in a lot of areas. So, first half, defense did a great job. Special teams did a nice job, and the offense worked through some things, especially early in the first quarter. But bottom line is they worked through that. Certainly, the penalties in the first half were a major factor. I think we had 6 for 45, and it's not so much the yardage as it is just how the penalties impact things. And one of those was on special teams, really costly as well. So that was like a flashback right to our first Kids Day practice out there in Kinnick, whatever the nine or 10th practice, something like that. But really almost like a direct correlation. And that certainly is a better situation in the second half. We had 1 for 5 yards and played a lot cleaner. And that certainly helps. So good to see the offensive execution in the second half looked a lot better. Defense kept playing. Special teams did a good job. And, good to be back in the facility Sunday and see everybody in person. Have a chance to congratulate them just on their effort and just through playing through the bumps and, going the full 60, doing a good job there. So happy again for the football team. Moving forward to this week, we have the same 4 captains. You got Jay Higgins and Quinn Schulte on defense, and then Luke Lachey and Cade McNamara offensively. It's the same 4 guys there. I think injury-wise, we're pretty clean. Looks like, came out of it pretty good shape. Hopefully we make it through the week here without any issues. And, the game obviously is a big game. It's a rivalry game. Certainly it's been intense for a long time. It's my 34th experience. I've seen a lot of different things during the course of that time. But bottom line is it's just a really good game for our state. I think, it's just good for everybody if they're involved in football and like football. And then on top of it, I think, it's probably a little bit underappreciated outside of our state in terms of the intensity of the rivalry and the way the players go after it each and every time. So, it's really a good football game. Talking about Iowa State real briefly, obviously a really good football program and a good football team. I've got a lot of admiration for their staff. They've got a really good coaching staff there. They've done a great job since Coach Campbell arrived. And they've got a veteran football team. At least they're really veteran where it counts, and have done a really nice job. Not a big surprise. They've recruited well. They coach their guys well, and each and every year, there's a good program, good team. Look at the last 6 years right now. I think it's a 5-point whatever differential between the two teams. So I would expect the same thing Saturday. Enough tough, competitive, hard-fought ball game, and that's what we're looking at there. So, kid captain this week is 8-year-old Atlas Coleman from West Des Moines. Atlas, they discovered a tumor in Atlas's lung a year and a half. They had to take that out, and then found a really rare form of cancer that they had to work through. And kind of glad to say he's doing really well. He's in school, and just like every other kid, having a good time. Apparently, he's got a good sense of humor, tells jokes, and just a great young guy. So it'll be good to have him and his family here with us. Look forward to that. And it's a big game here, big rivalry, and we turned the page yesterday, moved on towards our preparation here, and the big challenge right now is, getting through this week and just doing a great job with our preparation, knowing it's going to be a tough game on Saturday. So I'll throw it out there for questions.
Tell us about your experience on Saturday. Were you like a coach? Were you like a fan?
Yeah.
Did you like a little tailgate? I mean, did you have?
Yeah, there's no tailgate. Yeah.
What was going through your? Describe as much as you can.
Actually, I had a grandson in the house, so got up, had a couple scrambled eggs, 2 scrambled eggs, and nothing too dramatic. Just kind of killed time, and then did that more so with him. But when the game started, it's just different watching on TV. It's really different. You can see better. That's one thing. And I had a nice surface to write on, which is the second thing. So I guess those are 2 upgrades. But outside of that, there wasn't much good about it. It just It's sterile. And there's really you're pretty much helpless. Not that I do a lot during games anyway. I'm not playing, but you just have a total feeling of disconnection. So it was really strange, really strange.
Perfect. Pilot question with the Des Moines Register. I think there, in the second half there was 6 offensive possessions. You scored a touchdown on 5 of them. Just like
Yep.
what's kind of going through your head as you see that unfold?
Yeah, it felt a lot better watching from where I was watching. That life was a lot better in the second half. And again, that's really the study in offense. Execution's a huge part of the game. It takes a lot of concentration, a lot of detail. And I think one thing for sure, the penalty situation did impact us in the first half. Second thing, yeah, we really didn't throw or catch. The throws weren't always accurate, and then we made some of those throws in the second half, and we caught the ball well. So gives you a chance to get going. And then the run game was certainly a little cleaner and crisper, but those are things you go through, and we're going to go through a series of things over the course of the season. As much as you try in camp and you try to put the guys in pressure situations and create things and all that, but it's not the same as playing a game. And until you get in a game, you really don't know how individuals are going to perform or how they're going to play. And then the other component is just the same thing to be said about your team. You just don't know how they're going to respond to those situations. They're going to rise, and we'll have a bunch of them here in the next 11 games out there. You just don't know what they are, but I think the biggest takeaway for me was just the way our guys stuck together. They kept a good attitude, and I'm not so sure how many adjustments got made at halftime, but we just played a little cleaner in that second half. And then, when you do that, you give yourself a chance for some success.
LA Club Hawkeye weekend. Cade, obviously, like the rest of the offense, had a really strong second half. And I know a lot of what we talked about here is the fact that he hasn't been healthy, and
Yeah.
now we got to see him play healthy. Just your thoughts. Were you impressed with what he did in the second half?
Absolutely.
Were you feeling more confident going into this second week? Where are you at with Cade and his performance on that?
Yeah, I've been saying it pretty consistently. I think you can't quantify this, and it's just going off experience. But I think, to me at least, one of his biggest challenges. Firstly, getting through the injury was the first challenge, first and foremost. And I will say this: after watching TV, and if I hear one more thing about ACL repairs, this is 2024. There's a lot of guys playing college football and pro football that have had ACL repairs. So to me, it's so far in the rearview mirror right now. But nonetheless, it was a reality. Certainly this past year to deal with it. But more importantly, I think it's just getting back into football shape, if you will, and playing in a team environment, not a 7-on-7 environment, which he hasn't really done for 2 years. As a healthy player. So to see him keep his attitude positive and keep working through it. He was much cleaner in the second half, and that's what you hope a guy's going to do. And he's got game experience that's in his pocket. That's a good thing for him. But he's that 2-year gap, I think, is something that he's had to work through. And it's good to see him. He looked relaxed, looked confident, and that was in that second half. And those are positive things. You can't hand that to a player. They've got to go out and experience and earn it.
I don't remember seeing Jackson Patterson out there on Saturday. Can you kind of comment on his status, and do you have a sense of how quickly Sept Anderson could get back on the field?
Yeah, so Jazz, that was the coach's decision to keep him out. He'll be back. Was back with us yesterday, and we expect him to be ready to roll this week. And great young guy, just something we decided to do. Seth it's not as bad maybe as we thought initially, but nonetheless, I guess it was last Wednesday. I think we met Tuesday, so the next day, of course. And it doesn't look as bad right now. We'll probably know a little bit more here by the end of the week, but it won't be this week. It's hopefully we're talking about a week or two, not multiple weeks.
Coach Jeffrey Hawkeyes said in Des Moines, I thought a great stat that came out of the game last Saturday was Reese Vanders. He was the first true freshman wideout for Iowa to score in a football season opener since 2006. He obviously had 2 in the game, the first freshman to do that since 2017. When was it, if there was a moment that you saw in practice that this was the type of guy who could make an impact at such a young age? And if it wasn't a moment, what did you see that I guess gave you confidence in him?
Yeah, I'll go back to recruiting him. We were, really excited about him. And I saw him 2 years ago, I guess. I saw Zach playing basketball, Lutmer, and he was out there playing. And I got to go up and see him during our bye week last week. Saw a couple games that night, and just like he's playing quarterback, just like the way he handles himself, carries himself. And then it was frustrating this summer because he had a multitude of things that kind of held him back from the summer program, just general training. And so, he missed a lot of time that way. Fortunately, he was able to get back and get going. And since we've been in practice, he just carries himself well. I don't know how well you know him. I don't want to say he's expressionless, but he doesn't get real, demonstrative. He just really steady, very focused and mature for his age, I think, and his experience level. So he just continues to grow, continues to do a good job with whatever we throw at him. And as we went on, it just became apparent to us that, he's probably the guy to have in there. And, I thought he, again, just watching on TV, it looked like he really performed well the other day. And I'm out on the sideline seeing him and all those things, but he just seemed to handle things in stride. So it's not too big for him. And, he certainly likes to compete. And it was good to see him go up with his hands and catch balls and, make some plays for us. Yes, it seems like all the feedback is really good. I was curious about that Sunday morning, and yeah, seemed like everything went pretty smoothly. No major delays. I guess they run a little bit behind with the tablets, but no, it sounded like it was really good. And I think everybody thought there was a benefit to it for sure. Yep.
Last year when you guys played Iowa State, you probably didn't know a lot about Rocco Deck. That was the only his second start of his career. Now you got a chance to see a lot more of him, a lot more game from him. As you look at him this week, what are some challenges that he particularly presents to your defense?
Yeah, when I talked about them being a veteran team, veteran in the key parts, and that's one of the positions I was referencing. Well, he's not an old guy, but he's really played enough now where I think he's a very confident guy, very, very poised, and just does a good job running their offense. So they've got a really talented group of receivers. Tight end Brahmer's a really good football player, so they've got guys that they can get the ball to, and I'm sure they will. So he's done a really nice job leading their football team, and I'm guessing his best football is still ahead of him.
I wanted to ask about Caleb and Caleb. Johnson, obviously was out in the first half. Is there anything he needs to be doing better to be in good standing with you guys, et cetera, et cetera? And then also Caleb Brown, how's he looked in coming back this week? Will he be a part of your plans on Saturday?
Yeah, he's looked good, both those guys, and anything that happens along the way, we just our deal is like we deal with it, and then my encouragement for everybody is we're looking forward. We're not looking back unless there's a reason to. And Caleb has really practiced well. I got two Calebs here. All right, yeah. Caleb Johnson, let's start there. The first guy you asked about, he's really been practicing well and did a good job. And when he went in there, I wasn't surprised. He just it's how he's been practicing, really focused and hit the holes hard and all those types of things. So good to see that. That's probably as good as well as I've seen him run the football since he's been here. And great young guy, got a great attitude and good. And then Caleb, it's going to be good to get him back too. And so the deal was last week he worked on the scout team against our defense, and Phil and those guys said he did a great job, and that's what you're hoping to hear. So he had a great attitude about it. He's back in the rotation now, and he'll be out there Saturday. I don't know how much, but he'll be out there. Yep.
Coach, I think maybe some people wondered if the passing game would come along, and first a new system, obviously Kate coming off an injury, but to see the success that it had in the first game of the season, is that a pretty encouraging sign moving forward?
Yeah, I mean it's encouraging certainly. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think the line we're a little bit more veteran up there. I thought the guys overall protected pretty well. That didn't seem like that was an issue at all for us, so that was helpful. Cade working through, his leave of absence for a while, going through that. He's been on a little bit of a medical sabbatical, so working through that. And then the receivers did a good job for the most part, going and getting the ball, running good routes, things like that. So, good combination. And some of those plays that Cade made were under duress, not necessarily because of a breakdown, but those guys blitzed a lot, had free rushers coming, so thought he handled that situation well too. We got plenty of blitz practice on Saturday, no question.
Adam, we talked everything. Kirk, how would you evaluate Kamari Walton, getting that start in that sort of odd situation? How do you think he did with that opportunity that he got?
Yeah, we talked about Reese, and same thing. I mean, Kamari's been here for a year, but he's a young player. Really doesn't have much game experience. So I thought he did a lot of good things. He really did, and he handled it well. He's just a really steady guy. Every day is pretty much the same with him. It's a good day, and works hard. So that's again, you can't simulate things, game experience, and for players like that, the younger guys that haven't played, boy, this is a really good experience for them to be out there in competition, tough competition, and having to perform. And those are two guys right there that haven't done much for us, but certainly have a chance to help our football team a lot. Whether you talk about him or Reese Vanderzee. Yep.
A follow question with the Des Moines Raiders. So we were just talking to TJ Hall, and it sounded like he took the Nebraska game pretty hard, the one two seasons ago.
Yep.
He kind of got thrown into it.
Yep.
How have you seen kind of him grow from that moment to where he is now?
Yeah, I'm not laughing about that. I'm laughing in that, I mean, name a player or coach who hasn't had that. That's just part of the journey, if you will. And that's kind of what I was referencing with teams. You're going to go through hard times, and we went through it Saturday. Offensively, we were up against it a little bit, and the guys just kept pushing forward. And player like TJ, he's probably been a little too hard on himself. If I'm talking about that one specific incident, but it's part of playing football. Whether you're a first-year guy like that, or it could be a senior. What's your response going to be? That's the major thing in sports. And he's done nothing but good things. Missed a lot of time due to injury, which was unfortunate, and that slows development. But this spring, really looked good and has had a really nice camp. And it's good to see him in the fray like he is. He's doing a really good job, and he's got a lot of football in front of him.
Kurt, Hawkeye Beacon, to revert back to Cade a little bit, can you tell a difference in maybe his confidence or the way he's carried himself? Maybe not even from Saturday, but from camp, because again, what we saw Saturday was something we haven't seen from Cade
Right.
in black and gold.
Yeah, I mean, just hope that was coming, and but there's no guarantees on that one. And I mean, he's always been confident, and I think he knows what to do and all those types of things. But at some point, you got to do it, and then you've got to sample some success or taste it a little bit and experience it. And again, you can't hand that to a player. They've got to go out and do it and work through it. And it hasn't always been easy, on a couple of levels. So credit to him for sticking with it and fighting through that first half. It didn't go perfect for us, obviously, but came back and just did some really good things in the second half. And hopefully, with each day, practice or game experience, he's going to keep getting more confidence in himself. And he's moving around, he's throwing the ball, and just looks a lot more relaxed out there. And that's a really it's easy for me to say, hey, relax, enjoy the game, all that stuff. Good luck. Now here's the ball, go do it. A whole different story. But credit goes to him on that one.
On Saturday. Doesn't have a whole lot start in his career, but how valuable is the patience that he has to have, to sit behind in the depth chart, and also what is his potential?
Yeah, well, his potential remains to be seen, but he's improved with every step of the way. And we have some guys talking about a couple of young guys who played Saturday, but most of our guys, our majority of our newcomers this year are going to be redshirting. It looks like, you never know what's going to happen, but it looks like that, and that's kind of been the way in our program for quite some times. And when you get behind good players, we got two pretty good defensive tackles right now. So for him to start may not be realistic at this given point. But it's all in front of him right now, and he's working hard every day, and he's a much better player than he was a year ago at this time, and it's great to see. It's not a surprise because he's got a great attitude and works hard. But there's more of a process for most players, not all, but most players have to just kind of work at it, and when they get their turn, go in there and play well. And it was good to see Jeremiah. I'm not surprised, but it was good to see him do a good job out there.
And Toby Hawkeye beating Kirk, last time I'm going to ask about watching from home, but from your perspective as a football coach and having to, watch a game on TV, not to disparage your TV partners or anything like that, but what, from your perspective, do you feel like you are missing the most versus, being able to watch a game on the sideline?
It's just a totally different experience. You feel totally disconnected. And I thought about that a little bit. Like, if I were retired, the difference is like you're not invested the way you are if you work here every day and are with the guys every day. So the closest thing would be like one of our kids' games. You're kind of invested, you're a parent, but it's still not the same as when you coach and work with people on a daily basis in a really intimate environment, and that's what we get to enjoy, and that's the best part of coaching. It's just that, the times when we get to shut the door and just do what we do or practice and all those kinds of things. So when you have that, then it's really strange to be disconnected, and it was code of silence on Saturday. So, left the hotel Friday night, which was strange. And then, sleep in your own bed that night, that's strange. And then basically wasn't sure what to do all morning. And then the game came, and then I really wasn't sure to do at halftime. So it was kind of interesting. But it all worked out. It all worked out. And then it's even stranger after the game because that's, either it's a really good time emotionally or a bad time. And those highs and lows make it really special. So you miss out on all those things. And, and it wasn't the same seeing everybody on Sunday. It's just that, time gap in there. It's a little bit different. But, it's over, and hopefully something I'll never experience again. We'll see how it all goes. Yep.
Take a few more questions. We'll start with Matt.
Very nice not to take you back home again, but you mentioned watching on TV.
It's a nice place to hang out. Mary's built a nice house.
You mentioned TV. Did you listen to the radio at all? And if you did, your thoughts on the new color commentator and how he
Yeah, I saw Pat at the Hall of Fame luncheon on Friday, and that was enough. Right there. No, I'm joking, but first of all, it was great to see both Adrian and Sean go in, and great to have them back and their families back. That was outstanding. And Adrian's high school coach was back also, which was really neat. He came up from St. Louis, so that was great. Pat did a great job at the luncheon, and as you know, Pat gives you that crazy demeanor and all that stuff, but he's a pretty deep thinker. He knows what's going on, and I'm guessing, I haven't heard any reviews, but I'm guessing he did pretty well. My prediction is he will do really well in the future. And he followed a great guy, Ned Podolak, certainly.
finish with Chad.
His fly followed me from my office, I think, yeah. There's always one in my office, too, Yeah. Only good thing about winter, yeah. Okay.
Last 3 years, you're averaging 186 yards a game against Iowa State. I know a lot of factors, but what makes the Iowa State defense so difficult to move the ball against? Who are you guys, and what can you do this week?
One person's opinion. They've done a lot of things well there since Coach Campbell got there. That league was not exactly known for defense, and ours is probably a little bit more so that way. At least that's kind of been the trend. And I think Coach Haycock, he's an outstanding coach, great person. He came in with a vision. I'm not sure where it all got incubated or how it got hatched, but they've been good on defense basically after that first year. That first year was a year of adjustment, but from my vantage point, they've been good on defense all the way through, and they've been good on offense too. And they've changed subtly, but they've got an identity and a system that works really well for them, and I think that's why they've been so successful. They run the ball, control the ball. They pass it well too, but they're balanced on offense, and then defensively, they've been really good. And to me, that put them in the mix with the other teams in that conference, including beating Oklahoma. I think twice. Was it twice? It's been it twice, I think. So that's not supposed to happen according to the experts, but they've done a really good job, and that's a big component of it. And I think how I feel. I just growing up, it just seems like if you play defense in any sport, you got a chance. You got a chance, and you can't win if you don't have a chance. So a real credit to them. But they've been tough on a lot of people. It's interesting. You look back. It's hard to find many games where they give up a lot of yards or points. Really hard.
John, last question.
John Sept, good match. First of all, was Mary able to ask any questions during the game?
Yeah, we talked civilly. Yeah, we were very civil with each other, and she gave me a little distance at halftime. I walked around at halftime, came back, and then I actually gave a yeah or whatever. We made a play, and I didn't realize she was sitting about 20 yards away from me. But anyway, yeah. So we all got along fine. No problems.
And then, totally different note, in terms of a guy that you beat Iowa State and pretty much everyone else in the free world for on the recruiting trail, staying here, 15 starts now, I think it's been for him. What's kind of stood out to you about his progression?
Xavier, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a quality young guy, and just like we talked about with a lot of these guys, it's been a step at a time. He's at the other end, he was very heralded recruiting wise, and some guys weren't. But it's still an adjustment when you come to college. For most players, it's an adjustment. It takes time. And we've had some pretty good players back there, too. But he's done a really good job, takes coaching really well. He's had a great attitude from day one. Like most players, it starts at home. He's just a great young guy to work with. And he's got, really good size. And, he's got a good feel for the game back there. So we're glad he's on our team.